Hello, Devotati. So, you might need to help me today. You have to share this link in the group because what happened is I started an earlier live and that kind of got disconnected. So, I had to start again. So, maybe you need to share this link in the group. Let's just wait for some more minutes. Thank you. So we are just waiting for a couple of more minutes for people to join in. So whoever is joining, please stay back. Yeah, that link is no longer functioning, Devotati, because that was the older one, I guess. The one that got disconnected. This is the new one that I started again. Okay, I'll just wait for a couple of more minutes and see if more people joins, and then we can start, because if I start it becomes difficult to recap. It's a pretty intense topic. I see. I think that's Chandrani, right? Yeah, Nivedita Chandrani Devotati. New link also shared. Thank you, Nivedita. Thank you, Devotati. Namaste, Chandrani. Namaste. So we'll quickly start. I'm still waiting for a couple of more people to join in. I see Shudipto. Thank you for joining, Shudipto. I'm still waiting. Hi Tanvi. Yeah, I was just waiting for you to join also. Okay. So, all right. I think we can start. As in Kamon Achen, I'm fine, Saifuddin. Thank you for asking. So, I think we can just start with this today's topic, and it's a little different compared to the usual Monday and Wednesday healing through stories that we do. If you have seen the poster that was shared this evening, it was about today's session is all about a win-win, which is communicating assertively. Now, you might have heard about this term called assertive communication in various circumstances. Hi Saurav, thank you for joining. So, assertive communication is even during therapy, even during various counseling sessions, I often tell my people that you need to communicate assertively. So, and they say that okay, how to do that, and I give a few tips and tricks, but it is very important to understand and practice assertive communication because it's a skill. So we'll start with a small question answer round, and because I want to understand your actual or your regular nature of communication, although for most of you I'm already aware, but there are people about whom I'm not aware. So I'm going to start with regular, a general scenario, a hypothetical scenario with a couple of or three options, and you just let me know if you are that person, which one of you would be, A, B or C. Just respond as A, B or C. Okay. So the first situation is you are a customer who is waiting in the line to be served, and suddenly someone just steps in line ahead of you. So what would you do? So I will give you three options. Option A is let the person be ahead of you since he or she is already in the line. Option B is pull the person out of the line and make him or her go at the back of the line. Third is indicate to the person that you are in the line and point out where it begins. So these are the three options that you have in this situation where you were waiting in the line for to be served, but someone just bumps in and stands in front of you. So which one of you would do? Would you allow him to stay on the line? Would you tell him, take him out of the line and put him at the back of the line? Or third is you tell him that, okay, dude, like, you know, I'm standing in the line and please, you have to go. That's where the line starts. Option C, option C. Anybody else? Anybody else? A, B, C option. There's nothing right, wrong. Communication style, all different styles are required at some point of time. So don't be afraid that, if I give a wrong answer, what will happen? Nothing will happen. What will happen? You are neither in the line, neither there is a person in front of you. So just, these are all hypothetical scenarios. So I see option C, Shoaib saying option B, pull the person out of line and make him or go to the back. They would be saying A, let the person be ahead of you since he or she is already in the line. Saurav says A. Shoaib says B. Right. Okay. I'm saying there is no right or wrong answer. But what would have worked or what would not have worked, we'll slowly discover today. Okay, Tanvi is not answering. Very sad, Tanvi. So for Tanvi, the next question I'm asking you directly now. After walking out of a store where you purchased some items, you discover you were shortchanged, like you were not given the entire amount back. What would you do? Let it go since you are already out of the store and have no proof that you have been given incorrect amount. Go to the manager and indicate how you were cheated by the clerk, then demand the proper change. And option C, return to the clerk and inform him or her of the error. What would you do? Chandrani says C. I think that was for question number 1. So this is question number 2. So you went into a store, you purchased some items, you came out of the store and you realized that, you did not get the actual change from the clerk. What would you do? Option A, you would let it go because you're already out of the store. Option B, as Shoaib says, go to the manager, indicate how you were cheated by the clerk. Okay, return to the clerk and inform her or of the error. Sudipta says option C. Shoaib says option B. Anybody else? Tanvi, what about you? If she is there, I'm not sure. Anybody else would like to answer? Smith Ranjan says option C, return to the clerk and inform him or her of the error. Okay, all right. So I'll quickly move to the third question rather. You are in the new me will pick 3, and what will the old you would have picked, Nivedita? Devadati says A. Okay, let it be. Shoaib says, I don't give anyone a single chance to be sorry even. Okay. Saurav says A. No wonder. Okay. Right. I don't give anybody a single chance to be sorry even. And that might impact, or that might actually reflect in the kind of relationships you have too, Shoaib. Right? So let's move to the next question. You're in the middle of watching a very interesting television program. Chandran says C. Okay, option C. Hi Adi, how are you? I'm good, Smith. Thank you for asking. So you're in the middle of watching a very interesting television program when your spouse comes in and asks you a favor. You would, option A, do the favor as quickly as possible, then return to the program to finish watching it. Say no, then finish watching your program. Ask if it can wait until the program is over, and if so, do it after the program ends. What will you do? A. Okay. C. Okay. Anybody else? A. Okay. Anyone else? A. All right. Okay, so the last question, maybe. The last question is, you invite a good friend to your house for a dinner party, but your friend never arrives, neither calls or to cancel or to apologize. What would you do? Option A, ignore it, but manage not to show up the next time your friend invites you to a party. Option B, never speak to this person again and end the friendship. Option C, call your friend to find out what happened. What would you do? She sees live data are not available. Okay, if a very important A is A very important, or C it can wait. Yeah. Okay. So now I've already asked the next question. So let's see what will be your answer. This is the last one. So you invite someone, the person, your good friend, the person does not come even, does not even tell you anything, does not even cancel. What would you do? You would ignore it, but do not return to the party whenever they throw the party again. The next option is never speak to this friend again. And the third one is call your friend to find out what happened. Okay, so Sudipto says, call your friend to find out what happened. Nivedita says, most probably A, ignore it but manage not to show up the next time your friend invites you to a party. Interesting. Saurav says C, call your friend to find out what happened. Devaditi says C, call your friend to find out what happened. So, these questions are actually, you can understand that none of these. Better luck next time then, Shoaib. So these questions are, this indicates basically the different styles of communication. So what are these different styles of communication? That is what we are going to go through today, and that we are going to explore today. Now it is very important to understand that whatever are the different styles of communication, each one of the style is important at certain point of our life. It is not that you have to be assertive throughout your life. You cannot afford to be passive, or you cannot afford to be aggressive, nothing like that. But 90% of the time, if you're assertive, it actually indicates, or it actually reflects in the kind of life you have, and your style of communication is directly proportional to the kind of defense mechanism that you choose. So that's why I have chosen this topic to be discussed, because Zahida, thank you for joining, and yes, see, good. So the topic for discussion, why communication? Because whether you call it mental health or anything, the way you talk to somebody is communication, and if the communication style is incorrect, or if the communication style is inappropriate, then of course it's going to impact your relationships too. So the question is, what are the three styles of communication? So the three styles of communication is passive. These are the three broad styles. There are many subtypes too, but we are not getting into voice and accent training here. We are just doing the basic ones, which is going to impact your on a mental health aspect. So there are three prominent and broad styles. The first one is passive, the second one is aggressive, and the third one is assertive. Now, passive, as the name suggests, can anybody tell me what is a passive style of communication? Many of you have actually chosen, when I gave you a situation, a passive response. So I want to understand, if you understand at all, what is the passive style of communication? What is passive communication? Anyone can answer that. A one-liner, two-liner, whatever you want to say. Anybody? Passive style of communication? Anyone? Passive communication. Most of you have practiced passive communication in front of me. I have seen that, because there are many people whom I know personally. Being quiet, not really. Not speaking up, that's no communication at all. Passive communication is speaking, but what is the or what are the characteristics of passive communication? Saurabh says, like not expressing directly through words, but maybe with other actions. Okay, partially correct. Anybody else wants to contribute? I can give you certain passive messages, then probably you will understand what is a passive style of communication, because unconsciously we often communicate in ways and means that we don't understand that we are indulging into a passive communication, and it is only at a later stage when you introspect that you can understand that it did not work your way because it was not the proper style of communication. There was a miscommunication rather. I think I'm so passive and so aggressive communicator. Well, but the kind of responses, Shoaib, you're giving, definitely you're no way closer to passive. You're extremely aggressive, and I'm sure it impacts your relationships as well. And we are going to come to the passive style, aggressive style in a bit. Smitharanjan says passive individuals do not respond overtly to hurtful or anger-inducing situation. Okay. Somnath says direct. No, passive people are not direct. Indirectly showing action. Passive communicators usually fail to express their feelings or needs, allowing others to express themselves. Yes. So I will give you a certain phrases which passive people usually use. If that's the way you want to do it, that's fine with me. Although it's not fine with me, but that's all I will say. I don't know if I could do that. These are statements that passive communication, examples of passive communication. I'll talk to him soon about the problem. I have just been really busy. The person has not been busy, but they're avoiding communication. I'm sorry to ask you for something. I hate to bother you. Maybe that's a good idea. So these are some passive messages. So passive communication is usually these people have very soft voice. They are overtly agreeable to people. No point of views expressed. They just avoid any kind of confrontation, anything. Just let it be. Jo karna usko karne do times. They have a withdrawn body language. So communication is not only through your words or through your tones, but also non-verbal communication is happening through your body language too. You sound pretty unsure. You're not very confident about what you are saying. You beat around the bush, and you sound a little hopeless or helpless. Now, passive people have this tendency of repressing stuffs, just because of their style of communication, because they don't want to hurt someone, and they don't know without hurting someone how will they send the message across. So they keep it to themselves, and they somehow agree and then get out of the situation. So this is passive communication. The next one is aggressive communication. So as the name suggests, overtly top of everything, excess of emotions, or aggressively reacting to certain situations. So I will say, like, there are a few sentences like, you must do that, you always do that, you never do that, because I said you have to do that. So things like this, it's like an authoritarian or directive kind of. So the direct that you are talking, it's a directive kind of communication when it comes to aggressive communication. Now, aggressive communication, how do you understand that people are aggressive? They will always be blaming people. They have this tendency of blaming someone or accusing someone. They have this intimidating body language. You will feel a little scared, to even come around that person. It's a little intimidating, and the person has this habit of becoming very abusive, or whether verbally or physically. They have this demanding tone or ordering tone. I want this, I want that, raised voice. They don't know to intonate and soften or play with their voice. they have this harsh personal language. Their choice of words are very harsh, and this verbal beating that keeps on happening. There is always a verbal, which I say verbal diarrhea, that keeps on happening when you're talking with an aggressive person. So basically, the passive person usually have this poor self-image, because of which they do not, or they are very self-critical, because of which they do not overtly express themselves. And aggressive people, they have a superiority complex. They think they are the best, they know everything, and they kind of try to overpower the other person. So you get two extremes. Now you might ask me that, as I said, that each kind of communication style is important. Yes, when the samne wala person is extremely extremely aggressive, it is important to be a little passive, because if you are aggressive, both of you are aggressive, then definitely it is going to lead to a explosion which is not required. The next thing is for aggression is required in situations like, let's say you see an abuse happening on the road. At that time, I do not expect you to become assertive or passive and try to make the abusers understand that you should not be abusing a woman, you should not be teasing a woman. No, you have to show that aggression at that point of time. But major part of our life, let's say 85% of our life, the kind of communication style we should be practicing is assertive communication. So assertive communication, when it says, if you now compare between passive, aggressive and assertive, don't you think the style of communication changes when we deal with different individuals? Of course it changes. So that's why I'm saying that when you're dealing with an aggressive person, if you also become aggressive, it's not going to work. So depending on the kind of situation and the kind of person, you need to change your communication style. But majorly, no matter what kind of person you're dealing with or what kind of situation you're dealing with, assertive communication is something that really helps a person 85% of the time at least. The rest 15% kind of, it depends, it kind of shifts. Now, what is this difference between the passive, aggressive and assertive? It is important to understand. So I'm going to basically, I have actually, usually this is a training that I conduct. So I am kind of taken out certain concepts that I'm going to tell you today. So a passive person is afraid to speak up. The aggressive person interrupts and talk over others, as you have seen in the live too, today's live. The assertive person speaks openly. They don't stop you. They don't stop themselves, but they will speak in an open communication. The second one is the passive person speaks softly, very soft. The aggressive person speaks loudly, extremely over the top, and the assertive person uses a conversational tone. That means encouraging the other person to contribute into the conversation. The third one is passive people will not look at other people. They avoid eye contact. That is exactly what we are doing, Shoaib, and maybe you can just pay attention to this. So avoids looking at other people, passive person. The aggressive person glares and stares at others. They are not looking, they are glaring at you, right? And assertive person, they will make a good eye contact when they are talking to you. Passive person shows little or no expression. Aggressive person, they intimidate by using expressions. And assertive person, they shows expression which matches the message that they want to deliver. Passive person, they slouch and they withdraw. The aggressive person, they stand rigidly, they cross arm like this, and they invade the personal space of others. Assertive person is relaxes and adopts an open stance and expression. So they will they're just relaxed, they're calm, they know that even if the person in the front is not accepting, it's okay. Everybody has a different viewpoint. It's absolutely all right. Passive person isolate themselves from groups. Aggressive person tries to control the group, and the assertive person participate in groups. Passive person, they agree with everybody despite their personal feelings. Aggressive person only considers own feelings and or makes demands of others, whereas assertive persons keep to the point. So passive person values themselves less than others, aggressive person values themselves more over others, and assertive person actually values everyone, themselves as well as others. I'm not sure if you're writing comments or not, because I cannot see any further comments, so maybe there is a lag in the comments being displayed. So as of now, the last comment that I see is Shoaib's give me some more pointers about assertive communicators, which is exactly what I was doing. So passive communication, the last point is you are okay, I am not. Aggressive person is I am okay, you are not. And the assertive person is I am okay, you are okay. That is the difference in the communication style. So no matter what kind of situation or what kind of people you are dealing with, it is important that 85% of the time you can choose an assertive communication. 15% depends on situation or people. So I'm sure you have done Venn diagrams in your school life in geometry. So if you look at a Venn diagram, I don't see a pen or paper near me, otherwise I would have drawn and shown it to you. So if you draw one circle and you just write there, you win, that is a passive communication. And if you draw another circle and you write I win, that is aggressive communication. And in between is the assertive communication, which is a win-win. You win, I win, and that's why it is called assertive communication, because it is a win-win situation. So passive is what you want, aggressive is what I want, and assertive is taking care of what you want as well as what I want. Okay, do we have any questions so far? Otherwise I'll move on. I have another 15 minutes left, so I'll just finish it off. If you have any question, I'll wait for 1 minute. If you have any questions so far, I hope you have been able to understand, because at times I have been passive as well when the situation demanded. I have been aggressive as well when the situation demanded, but mostly you need to be assertive. It is important that we practice an assertive communication, because that really helps, and that also helps you not only to communicate but also choose the right kind of defense mechanisms, and it also helps you to manage anxiety and stress levels too. So communication works at various levels, so that's why I was just harping more on assertive communication. Right? So I'm going to read out a definition which I feel is the best explanation of assertive communication. Assertiveness is a way of life and a way of doing business based on mutual respect and benefit. It is all about, in bold caps highlighted, winning without war. Assertive communication is winning without war. So you still win, the person in the front also win, and there is no war that was done. So that is the assertive communication. So if I now, you must be thinking that, okay, I understand. So what do I need to do to do assertive communication? Very simple. First of all, you need to understand assertive communication cannot be trained. It's a skill you have to practice on a day in, day out basis. Trust me, I have people watching me live right now. I've seen those people transform from passive to an assertive communicator. I have seen them transforming. So you have already done that unconsciously. I'm just bringing it to the conscious level for all of you, so that you know that when you are becoming too aggressive or too passive, what is happening. Maybe you are harping too much on who should win the communication, whether you or whether the person in the front. But if you really want a fruitful conversation, it is important that there is a win-win situation. 15% is different. Devona, don't cry. This thing is getting recorded. You can watch it from the beginning, and I'm sure I really recommend you to watch this one also, right? So assertiveness, ma'am, how can I be assertive from aggressive communicator? Yes. So aggression, whether aggression, I'm so late today. It's okay. You can watch the recording, no problem. So you have just joined at the right time, maybe, because now you would understand how to become an assertive communicator. So the first things first is, if you are a passive communicator, you are overtly stressing on the other person's need. So the first step of becoming an assertive communicator is, whenever next time you communicate, you first figure out in your head a plan that these are the things. Let's say you are looking for 5 things. The person in the front is also looking for 5 things. Now having all the 10 things in one communication is not possible. So maybe a couple of your points should be taken into consideration, while 3 points from the person in the front to start with will be taken into consideration. So like this you will get into this habit. Similarly, for aggressive communicator, possibly you are trying to overpower the entire communication because you want all your conditions to be fulfilled. So if you really want to be assertive, it is important that you give the other person the chance that what are they looking for. Always, like, it is important in communication to change your perspectives, change your positions, like what the other person is thinking or saying. Especially when you're dealing with aggressive person, it is considered that the other person is usually a passive person. So if a passive person and an aggressive person are staying together, then the passive becomes more passive and the aggressive becomes more aggressive. So what happens is, then there is a complete miscommunication, and that leads to stress, anxiety, depression, relationship issues, miscommunication, and so on and so forth. So the first things for both aggressive and passive communicator is, while it is important to take care of your right or the other's right, it is also equivalent to important to take care of your right and the other's right. Can we have an assertive conversation with an aggressive person? Yes, you can. Trust me, I do that on a daily basis. Trust me, you can do that. The first things first is, the aggressive person, the sole thing of an aggressive person is they really need to say what they have to say. Give them the space to say. I have given this example so many times. I will give this example again in this session because this is specifically for assertive aggressive communication. So there is this wife, I think I have spoken about this in one of my live too, but I'll just repeat it. It's a conversation happening between a couple. So the couple, the husband is sitting and reading newspapers, not looking at anything. They're like opening the newspaper like this in front of his face, and the wife is constantly blabbering, very angry. It was observable. So what is happening is, the wife is moving from the kitchen to the dining room to the kitchen. They are banging the utensils, doing everything. Now this person is very calmly reading the newspaper. At one point of time, the wife just lost it. At that time, the wife came and threw the newspaper and started throwing the cushions at the husband. They're saying that you're not listening to me. I've been speaking for such a long time. You do not bother about me, blah, 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 blah. The husband, as you throw the cushion fell into the ground. The husband picked up the cushion, gave it to the wife. Again, the wife threw the cushion at the husband. The husband again picked it up and gave it to the wife. This happened for quite some time, till the time the wife was about to throw the cushion, and she just sat down and with a deep sigh. What just happened is, she let out whatever was there inside of her. She just let it out. That time the husband folded the newspaper and said, let's talk now, what you wanted to say. Because till now what was happening is only the emotional outburst. And that is exactly what happens. In case of a passive communicator too, you are overtly thinking that if I say this, what will happen, that other person will react like this, blah, blah, blah. You are actually thinking in future. You're thinking too much in the future rather than taking into consideration your feelings, your thoughts, your emotions also. And the aggressive person is doing what? It's a very good example that in a spouse relationship, usually you can find this kind of an example, that one is aggressive, one is passive. So the aggressive person is constantly blabbering. Believe me that once the blabbering is over, if you just walk out, that actually convinces the aggressive person that he or she got her way, and the person continues to be in the aggressive. Now what happens with the passive person is, the passive person stays passive for year, and then one day it's like a volcano. You just outburst and you also become aggressive, and then the aggressive person, and then the situation actually becomes worse. It becomes worse at that time. So that's why I'm saying it is important to practice assertive. Now assertive communication is not sold in a Amazon, that I can tell you go and buy and drink it and you'll become assertive. It's a skill. I had been aggressive throughout my life. I had been passive, I had been aggressive, and for the last few years I have been assertive, and I have seen the changes, I have seen the difference in my life whether I'm dealing with a passive person, whether I'm dealing with an aggressive person. So there are 3 steps to assertive communication. And what if they don't stop and goes on and on? Isn't it exhausting? Isn't it waste of time and energy? Yes. So at that time, if they're saying on and on, simply say, we will talk when you're ready to listen, and just walk out. That is an assertive communication too. But just staying there and keeping your head down, it's okay. Whatever you say, that is going to be like that. That is passive. But if the person is constantly blabbering, constantly saying, let's say when I'm having a conversation with one of my closest person, and the person is constantly blabbering, and I just send one voice note, we'll talk when you're ready to listen, not now, because right now you're not ready to listen, and I'm not going to waste my energy on this. That's it. What happened is, you acknowledged here that the person has something to tell you, but you also say that, dude, you're not ready to listen to me, so we will talk when you're ready to listen as well. This is assertive. This is being assertive communication. This is the the crux of assertive communication. So I'm not saying that you are trying to make the aggressive person, make them understand. No, that is not assertive communication. That is counseling. You let that be with me. So don't get into that. But what I am saying is, when you know you're dealing with an aggressive person, and you have tried to make your pathway a little bit, and you're not able to, just simply say that you have a lot to say, and I respect that, and I too have a lot to say, and we will speak when you are also ready to listen, right? But give that person chance to vent out, because the more they vent out, the more they will be able to take whatever you have to say. If the tumbler is filled till the head, then the person will not be able to accept what you are saying. So the 3 phases of assertive communication is speaking up, opening up, and standing firm. These are the 3 steps of assertive communication. Speaking up, opening up, like not closing all your feelings and everything within yourself, opening up in bits and pieces, and standing firm at your point. So I will talk about a very recent experience that I'm still experiencing in my life. This person is passive, and from passive people, suddenly if you keep on repressing, you suddenly become aggressive. You don't turn passive to assertive. It's like a journey. From aggressive to assertive is also a journey. From passive, people who are repressing continuously their emotions, they suddenly become extremely aggressive. And now when I'm dealing with this aggression, all I'm saying is that, I understand from where you are coming, but I have these things. When you are blaming me continuously that, you have this, you have that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 points, I only will say that these are the pointers for which I have said, which also means that I am not going back on what I have said. But yes, we will talk. If you're ready to talk, we will talk. If you're not ready to talk, I'm okay with that too. But that does not mean that you will be only talking and I would be only listening. No, that doesn't work. That really doesn't work. We are not in a teacher-student relationship. It doesn't work. And this communication is specifically, I am directing for the relationship issues, because that's where it is more reflected. Between friends, you can still understand. Between relationships, any kind of relationship, close relationship, not only romantic, but mother, children, for any kind of relationship, assertive communication is extremely important. Extremely. Do not expect your parents to change overnight and understand assertive communication. They have never practiced assertive communication in their life. We can only change, and you can change from you. The change starts from you. Don't expect the other person to change and then only you will start practicing. You have to start here, and somewhere you will see the changes the ripples are being created and the change is being observed, right? So this is primarily the assertive communication. I think, we have 3 more minutes left. So this is all about assertive communication, and it's a skill. You need to practice it. When you are suppressing, when it's becoming heavy, you are being passive and you are repressing emotions. When your head is started to pain, when your cheeks are becoming warm, you are actually aggressive. Assertive is you're sitting calm. Your entire conversation has already worked up here, and that is coming out from here. That is assertive communication. This is important. So while it is exhausting, but it is not impossible. Trust me. I have dealt with aggressive people day in, day out, and I'm still dealing with one. But never ever let it is, if it is okay to give people space, but it is not okay to let people step on your self-esteem. That is not okay, and that's where assertive communication comes into picture. So I would like to tell you something, that always remember the meaning of the communication is the response that you get. So when you are saying something and you're not getting the adequate response to it, that means you have not been able to frame your sentences or choose your words correctly, right? So I would like to end my session today with a very nice quote, but before that I would like to see if you have any more questions related to that. I will say that practice assertive communication. Slowly and steadily you would see what I was trying to say. Trust me, it works. I have seen that. I have been extremely passive before. From there I have turned extremely aggressive, and from there I have mellowed down and became assertive, something a midway where it's win-win. I take your point, you take my point, something like that. So any questions, anyone? It's also okay to ask for help. Absolutely, it is definitely okay to ask for help. And if asking for help helps you to get out of your repressed emotions, that's the best thing that can happen to somebody. And never is always you can start afresh. This is important, and it's never too late. It's never too late to start something new. But if you want to start and the other person is not ready, don't blame yourself. Don't blame yourself for that, because it's like a cycle. If you just pedal the last one and not the first tire, it's not going to work. It's not going to work, right? So I'm going to end. Today's was a little bhari bharkam session, but this is important, and this session was requested in our live. That's why I came with this topic. So remember, wisdom is knowing. This is my favorite quote by Evangel. Wisdom is knowing when to speak your mind and when to mind your speech. So remember, people really need to learn this. It cannot be blamed on one person only. Absolutely. So remember this quote, put it in your DNA. This is my favorite statement. Put it in your DNA. Jayati knows this statement. So wisdom is knowing when to speak your mind and when to mind your speech. The difference between the two is assertive communication, right? So that is pretty much of it. I really thank you, and I hope that you would practice assertive communication. Next time if somebody asks me what is assertive communication, I will simply share this link, because I have explained what exactly I wanted to say. And this Wednesday, Instagram, I'll come with a absolutely different session which is called Mudra Therapy, and I would like all of you to come and see how different mudra, mudra, with different parts of your hand you make certain mudra, how it treats different illnesses and different bodily ailments. So we'll deal with that this Wednesday. So thank you everyone. Please dream wala session rakho, acta noy Deborna will do dream ka episodes, if not November, in December definitely. Like healing through stories, we do topics, we will do episode wise, like one episode on any dreams related to snakes, one episode on water. So we'll do dream wala episode. One episode is not enough for dreams, then to pura matlab I have to be online for 24 hours to finish one. So thank you everyone for your time, and please practice assertive communication, because you would see change in your life, in your mindset, in your defense mechanism, in your emotions, in your stability, in your stress level, everything, just by practicing assertive communication. Thank you everyone. Have a wonderful night ahead.